Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on this channel, not another one, and today I'm going to be closing out a video series that I've been doing for the past few weeks. And that video series is me covering the 3 best seasons of Ninjago. Season 8, The Sons of Garmadon, Season 9, Hunted, and finally what I'm going to cover in this video is Season 10, March of the Oni. And if you haven't seen the last 2 videos on my channel, don't worry because I put up a playlist where you can watch both of them before you watch this one. Because the 3 seasons follow the same overarching plot. So you won't understand a lot of things in this season if you haven't watched the last 2. So I highly recommend watching the last 2 videos. But anyways, let's get on into the actual season. This season starts out with the ninja being all happy and merry as they have just finished rebuilding the monastery of Spinjitzu. And Zane, Cole, and Pixel go to the harbor to pick up the brand new rebuilt Destiny's Bounty because, as you know, it was destroyed at the end of Season 8. And as they are doing this, Lloyd, also known as the Green Ninja, goes to visit Lord Garmadon, who is being held captive in prison. And Garmadon re-warns Lloyd about how the Bringers of Doom are coming to end Ninjago. And Garmadon also offers to help, but Lloyd not so respectfully declines.
How do I put this? No! N-O.
And after this, Lloyd goes back to the monastery of Spinjitzu, where Faith from the last season suddenly flies into the realm on top of Firstborn. And Faith tells the ninja what Lloyd has heard about 1,000,000 times already. And that is that they are coming. And soon after that, they do come. And Lloyd gets Lord Garmadon out of prison right before this happens. So now almost the entirety of Ninjago City is covered in this black cloud that freezes anyone if they breathe it, or if they get pulled in by one of its tentacles. This doesn't apply to Lloyd or Garmadon though, since they are part Oni. So they go to the vault in Ninjago City to destroy the Realm Crystal to hopefully stop the Oni from coming into Ninjago. This mission ultimately fails though because stopping the Realm Crystal does not stop the Oni from getting in. This is not an entire failure though because Lloyd and Garmadon discover that the golden power that is held in the Golden Master's old armor repels the Oni. And that is how they try to make their escape. Meanwhile, the rest of the ninja are helping as many citizens as they can escape Ninjago City. But unfortunately, as they are leaving to pick up Lloyd and Garmadon, Cole falls into the darkness. Spoiler alert, he's still alive, but we'll get to that later. But anyways, after that, Lloyd and Garmadon end up getting back on the bounty. And Nia comes to the conclusion that Kai needs to reforge the Golden Master's armor back into the golden weapons, which are of course the Sword of Fire, the Nunchucks of Lightning, the Scythe of Quakes, and the Shurikens of Ice. So they go back to the monastery of Spinjitzu to forge the weapons. And as this is happening, it cuts back to Ninjago City, currently in darkness. And we find Cole waking up inside of a building where the darkness hasn't reached yet, which pulls my suspension of disbelief a bit thin, but I'll go with it. Anyways, he ends up fixing his remote for the Earth Driller that we saw earlier in the season, and he calls it to his approximate location. It arrives just outside and Cole has just enough willpower to get inside without being frozen, and he goes towards the monastery of Spinjitzu. Going back to the monastery, Kai has just finished reforging the 4 weapons of Spinjitzu, and the ninja Misako, Wu, and Garmadon are preparing for the final march of the Oni. And right after the fight starts, Cole ends up drilling up through the earth and taking back his scythe. But unfortunately, the power of the golden weapons alone are not enough to defeat the Oni, as they get backed into the walls of the monastery. And they set up a barricade to buy them a bit more time. And as this time is being purchased, Jay decides that this is the right time to ask Nia to be his Yang. And if you don't know what that means, it's basically the term for getting married in Ninjago. Right after this, Lloyd discovers that the only way to defeat the power of destruction is the power of creation. Dare he say, the tornado of creation, which is a thing that the ninja haven't used since season 1. And with everyone joining in on the tornado of creation, even Garmadon, they finally drive back the Oni. They have won. Lloyd then has a dream sequence where he has a conversation with the first Spinjitzu master. And this is basically the first Spinjitzu master giving thanks to all that Lloyd has done. But soon our point of view goes back to Ninjago as the ninjas celebrate their victory. And the virtual camera pans up and we see 2 words written in Ninjago that I assume say the end. As this is the end of the final episode of Lego Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu. The show does go on, but the second series is only called Lego Ninjago. Anyways, with the story out of the way, let me talk about the season as a whole. So I think this season is pretty good, but it has one main flaw that I need to talk about. And that flaw is the length of the season. Because this season is only 4 episodes long, which is not a lot of time to tell a season's worth of plot. So the season ended up feeling really rushed, and that's where all of the problems of the season stem from. I think they should have added 2 episodes to the season just to round it out. Just so that it wouldn't feel rushed, but it also wouldn't feel like it was dragged out for 10 episodes. And also, so it would cap the series off at 100 episodes. Seriously, I'm kind of more mad than I should be that the series ends at 98 episodes and not 100. Like, you guys were almost there. But anyways, let's move on to the plethora of great things about the season. First of all, it wraps up the story of the series really nicely while not losing any of the epic factor. Because the Oni have been a looming threat that we've only heard about over the past 2 seasons. And they are as scary as they have been described. And it really wellly wraps up everything while still leaving room for more. Which is what happened in the next 3 years. This didn't only have to be a great season, it also had to be a great conclusion. Because this is the Hegman brothers' last time writing a season for Ninjago. So they really needed to do a good send-off, and I think they did that pretty well. Like, this could have been just a mediocre conclusion and a great season, or a mediocre season but a great conclusion, but they managed to do both, which is not very common these days. Looking at you, The Rise of Skywalker. But anyways, second of all, the animation is absolutely fantastic. It's, in my opinion, the best animation that Ninjago has seen up to this point. And I know I said how I like Wild Brain's animation better in my Seabound review, but I actually said that it'll be the best animation that Ninjago has seen in the future. Because it still has a ways to go. Anyways, the animation is like perfect. And the best thing I could say about it is the lighting. It's definitely a far cry from season 7. And lastly, I really like how much tension the season gives you over the course of its runtime. It really makes you feel like anything could happen. There's like 3 scenes in the season that make you think something terrible is gonna happen. And then that said bad thing doesn't happen. For example, Garmadon turning off the power to the bounty, Cole falling into the darkness, and Lloyd almost dying right before the season ends. It really keeps you on your toes and it makes you feel like anything could happen. But anyways, that's all the main things I wanted to say about season 10, The March of the Oni. And overall, this season is really good. And its biggest problem, as I said before, is just its length. And moving on to a more broader note, the entire Oni trilogy was amazing. The trilogy has an amount of quality that hasn't been seen in Ninjago before this or after this. And I really hope this level of quality comes back for 2022's Ninjago season. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video and the past 2 videos because I really enjoyed talking about this season and more the past 2 seasons. It was insanely fun to rewatch and talk about my favorite seasons of a show. With that, I'd like to end this video by saying you can like the video if you want to, you can comment on the video if you want to, and you can subscribe, of course, but only if you want to. And that is all I have for you today, but tune in next week as I will be reviewing all 6 Ninjago core swords. I hope you all have yourselves a fantastical day or night, everyone. See ya!